Cable Channel 86 now presents For the Stylish, a weekly interview program for the stylish in mind. And now, here's your host, Mary Zeiler.
Good morning, and welcome to For the Stylish. I'm Mary Zeiler, your host, and today our guest is Steve Moss. He's Cleveland's latest and greatest cook, and he's here to show us his new recipe that he's thought up himself. This is his very first TV appearance. Steve has also written a book called Cooking with Anything You've Got, so we're here to discuss that book. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
So tell us, how did you get started as a cook?
Well, it all started when I was a little kid back in Mount Plastic, Ohio. My mother, my mother couldn't boil water without burning it. And, you know, there's only so long a kid can live on Captain Crunch. So it just became necessary that I learn how to cook.
And what was one of the first things you ever did cook?
I believe it was burnt eggs.
Burnt eggs.
Yeah, my world's
Scrambled
famous
or
recipe
hard-boiled?
for burnt eggs. You just put the eggs. I had no concept of cooking when I was 4 or 5 years old. I didn't know that you had to peel the eggs, you know, take the shell off.
Did you eat them with the eggs, the shells on them?
I didn't eat them. At the time, we had a very fat dog. Consequently, I fed everything I made to the dog.
So what was the first thing you made that turned out successful?
It was probably when I started working on my first book, Cooking with Radium. I made Eggs Benedict. That's what it was. Another egg recipe, I guess. Back to the egg, you know. Back to basics.
So where have you been working? Have you been working in Cleveland? Do you work for a restaurant?
Well, I was the only person in my high school that took cooking courses. I went into college, then went to the College of Boise for world renowned for their famous potato recipes.
Here at our town right now.
Potato pancakes and things. And when I graduated, I received a government grant for my studies. It came out with a 180-page report on cooking with petroleum.
Oh, how did that turn out? Did you sell it?
You can't cook with petroleum.
No, I see.
But it was worth $120,000 to the United States government to find that out. Basically, I really haven't a few stints on McDonald's or the Burger King, between books, but I use my profits from my study to go on and teach the world about cooking.
Yes, and we will see your recipes soon coming up. But tell us about your book, Cooking with Anything You've Got. What is one of your favorite recipes out of that book?
Okay, well, we'll see one of my favorite recipes later on. It's just a tasty delight. The Cooking with Anything You've Got is a book that I wrote after, well, I'm sure everybody's had the experience of coming home being really hungry, and you've got a jar of maraschino cherries, some mayonnaise, and chili powder. That's it.
Okay, well, thank you, Steve, and we'll be right back after this break, and we're going to see Steve's great new recipe, and we're going to talk a little bit more about his book, Cooking with Anything You've Got.
All right.
So we'll be back right after this.
I want to tell you about a very common and a very tragic illness, emphysema.
Oh, yeah.
The medical profession and your lung association are alarmed at the fact that this disease, which was relatively rare in the 1930s, is now among the top 10 causes of death in America. Also, emphysema now is the number 3 cause of disability and enforced retirement among men in the 50s and 60s, the years that should be their most happy and productive. Emphysema is a tragic disease because it's almost entirely preventable. It's a disease which in the vast majority of cases is caused by cigarette smoking. It's a self-inflicted injury. At present, there's no cure for emphysema, only symptomatic relief. I join with your lung association in urging that you help end this terrible disease by ending cigarette smoking. Your lung association considers it a matter of life and breath.
Hello, and welcome back to For the Stylish. We're back now to see Steve's new recipe, the one he's famous for, and it looks kind of interesting, Steve. Why don't you tell us what you use for this?
This is the recipe. This is the recipe that you all heard about on the news when I went to the White House and cooked for the president. This is the recipe that he picked out of my new book that he would really like to try something different. You need some Dannon blueberry low-fat yogurt. Okay.
I like blueberry yogurt.
Delicious stuff, great stuff. You take the yogurt and we just kind of pour it here on the old plate. You should really kind of mix it up before you do it. You know, all the blueberry stuff gets to the bottom, you know.
Right.
I never figured out why they didn't shake the stuff before they put it on the
I
shelf, you
never
know.
figured that out either.
And, delicious. Makes a great aftershave, too. And then you need this Milkmaid Real Instant Chocolate Syrup.
Which you can find in any store, I assume.
You can find all of these things in any store, almost any refrigerator in America. These are common household items. You add the Milkmaid to the blueberry yogurt.
Oh, that looks delicious.
It really is. It's tastier than it looks.
How much would you say you'd put in?
Oh, that's not enough. About 3 or 4 squeezes, you know. Enough so that it kind of looks like a little, oil slick. You can be artsy with it. Write your name.
Put your initials, right.
Right, anything you want. Okay, then you need some, a little barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
Any barbecue sauce will do. If you don't like barbecue sauce, A1 sauce, ketchup. This is to add a little tartness to the sweetness of the Milkmaid and the natural blueberry flavor of the yogurt. This is a very healthy dish, too, by the way. You know how good yogurt is for you.
Yes,
Add a little bit of barbecue sauce. Now.
That doesn't look like enough.
We'll get
Is
back
that enough?
to it.
Okay.
Now, the secret ingredient is the Golden Crisp potato chips. You just take these potato chips, you get a mug, a can, a shoe, anything you have. That's the whole idea behind cooking with anything you've got, is you can cook with anything. You just smash the old potato chips up with the glass.
You can use a shoe to do that also?
Give me a shoe. We can use a shoe. See how good a Coke can works? Anything will work. You take the potato chips and put them in a 16th century gold chalice. Must be 16th century. No Neo-Roman. We don't want any Greek.
And
Put
what's
these
the
in
purpose
here.
of the chalice?
This brings the whole spiritual essence of this dish. This dish is kind of like well, you'd have to be very religious to eat this dish. Let me say that. Put them in the chalice.
What religion do you think?
Put them in the chalice. Add more barbecue sauce. See, this is where the more barbecue sauce comes in. It's really tasty. And a little more Milkmaid. Not too much now. Stir with a number 2 Invader pencil. Yellow. Stir it up. Stir it up. Really delicious. Take the chalice with potato chips. Sprinkle lightly. Your number 2 Invader pencil again. Mix it all up. Really, really tasty, friend.
Steve, that looks absolutely delicious.
Put it in a 400-degree oven for 5 minutes or a microwave for 2, and you've got some taste, tempt, and delight, friends.
You guys, this is Steve's new recipe. Any of you can try it. Just remember it's blueberry yogurt, chocolate syrup, potato chips, barbecue sauce, and the 16th century chalice. Now, I'd like to eat it after it's done. Thank you very much for joining us with For the Stylish. We'll be back next week. That looks delicious.
Eat, consume.
This has been For the Stylish from Cable Channel 86 in Boise.